I'm Sonia Buller-Davis and you're watching Belizean Legends.
This is Belizean Legends and I'm Bilal Morris. Today we'll be speaking with the legendary Belizean softballer from the 1969 Belize softball Golden Girls of Softball, Sonia Buller-Davis. Most Belizeans remember her as Sonia Buller, the awesome Belizean player that we used to hear on the radio as Manfred Atkins and CLB Rogers would bring us those awesome games live from the MCC grounds, with Belize playing against Jamaica in the cast games. Sonia Buller comes from that classic period of the 1969, 1968-69 Belizean softball players that today has stood out as some of the best in softball. We have never seen that period ever repeated again when she was playing softball. Sonia, we want to welcome you to Belizean Legends. Tell us about how did your softball career began as a young girl in Belize? How did it all start for you?
Well, for me, started off, I was born in St. Pete, which is down with now. And I used to love sports overall, and I used to go to the river in the evening and take the pedal and try to throw the pedal across the river, finally running across from bank to bank. And that's how I started, and then there was a team called Lyolans.
Yes, we know about Lyolans, yes.
And then I had, in St. Pete, they had a team named Falcon, that's where I started from.
Okay.
Then I had a team Kingdom from Belize City, which was Burgess, I think. And then they came and they played with us, and that's where my career started. Then I went up to Belize City, and I get introduced to Lyolans team.
Yes.
I started playing from there, and into that period, our national side was started to form for us to travel. And I was selected, I was glad at that point to get selected in that first pick. I started from there.
Very much. So you also played softball in high school, I suppose?
Nope.
You never did play softball in high school. Your softball playing began when you were in high school at the same time, but you weren't playing. You weren't playing in the Stand Creek district. You weren't playing softball at the time.
My coach used to play running and
you were into track.
And those kind of things.
Wow!
Yeah.
So you were a very good track athlete also, which explains why you also became a very good softball player.
Yeah.
Because speed is very important in terms of running the bases, stealing the bases.
Right.
We remember the awesome Derek Martinez that came after you guys, who also an awesome track athlete that also played the game. That is very interesting because each of you, as we interview each of these legendary players for the documentary When We Were Queens and for my Belizean Legends television show, and talking to them, you hear how each of them started to play the game, and it is all. Some of it were very similar. Most of them played in high school, like Bonnie Ramdas, and then played in high school. But a lot of you appears to have played the game straight without playing at high school, but you went straight to the big leagues in terms of coming under the eyes of the Solis's and the Khaled Gills and the Lashleys, who recruited you all to play. Yeah. You played also, I know that you played on the softball teams in Belize City that was playing competitions at Rogers Stadium. Which one of the teams were you playing on?
Lyolans.
You were playing on Lyolans. So Lyolans was the champions at that time.
No, underdogs.
They were the underdogs. So were there Guineas at the time?
There was a Guineas and there was Done Right.
Done Right?
Yeah.
So Lyolans was with that same, playing in the tournaments with those same teams.
Right.
Wow.
But when I first came up from St. Pete, now I decided, okay, I knew that I could help a team somewhere down the line, so I didn't want to go play with a team that was in the top bracket, so I decided to go with Loyola.
Loyolans.
From
Interesting.
there, I got picked to the national
You
side.
picked up, you got picked to become a part of the national team out of Loyolans.
Right.
Very, very good. You stayed right there in Loyolans. You never did go no done right and no
Yeah, even though there was a thought that I was with Done Right, no.
Yeah, you stayed there.
They
You were
were
loyal
such a
to your
good
team.
They were such a good team that we had a good, connection.
Connection.
You know,
There was a good chemistry with the players. Very good connection with the players. Who was the coach of Loyolans at that time?
Pampo.
Pampo.
Pampo and
Okay.
Eric Smith.
Eric Smith.
Yeah.
What is Pampo's full name? Because a lot of people
I
don't
really
know him as that, but you know as Babu, he was Humes.
Yes, he was
But Pampo, we never knew who Pampo's real name. I have to make sure I check the records because I read so much about him, you know.
He was awesome.
Yes, very, very, very much. Very much. Interesting. So Loyolans never did win a championship?
No, we never did win a
Never,
championship.
you know, the underdogs for all the time. Despite of that, you stayed right there with you.
That was my cup of tea, that was my cup of tea. I am like this, I don't really like to be in the
Yes. You like to be in the background. You play your best game in the background. Yeah. You weren't that type of player who always want to be up in the front and want to star, like we would call it, right? Yeah. You know, Sonia, it's been a while since we've been planning this interview with you. Last year we were to meet in Belize and do it there. Unfortunately, that didn't materialize. You were selected out of Loyolans to become a part of Belize's national team. Talk about then those great games like the CAS games where Belize was playing Jamaica and the Bahamas and so on. Those games where Khalid Gill wrote about that, where Consuelo Dugal was, where she became famous as this great coach, as this great pitcher, right? And she got the name from the Jamaican coach Sanchez, and they call her the Panther, right? That awesome. Were you? I know you played that game where Belize beat Jamaica for the championship in the CAS games, right? Do you remember any highlights from that game?
Not really. Honestly, I don't really.
Yeah. But you remember that period, right? You remember that particular tournament.
We started off as a triangular meet, then after that Nassau came in, Bermuda came in, then we started off from there.
At that time, Sonia, Jamaica was an awesome team.
Exactly.
Those were players that you can remember were as conditioned and as disciplined as you all were from Belize, right? Do you remember any of the players from that team, from the Jamaicans, that you can speak about?
I had a shortstop there and she became very close. She was awesome. Shortstop,
very much. But you know, it never appeared that they had anything over Belize. Maybe Jamaica may have been a little bit more developed than Belize. Maybe they had better stadiums. But we
just had a natural. We were just natural. Naturally.
You see, since you can share some pictures with me with Jamaica, and I'm looking at the two. The Belize British at the time was British Honduras, and Jamaica and Belize. British Honduras and Jamaica, and these were the two giants in the Caribbean at the time, and in Central America. You know, and I'm looking at these players, and I'm like, wow. You know, but when you think about it, you say, boy, Jamaica must have had better stadiums, but how come we never did had as good stadiums as they were, but we were still beating them? We didn't find that as an excuse then to say why.
No.
You all were.
Savannah Park was a very good feeling had there. How you hit that ball, that gun.
Wow. Yes. Park. This is Belizean Legends, and I'm Bilal Morris, and we are speaking with the legendary Belizean softball player Sonia Buller-Davis. And many Belizeans remember this awesome player. Remember her from the 1969, a player from the Loyolans team that came from out of there. So then we want to talk about the awesome games that occurred at Rogers Stadium. Though you were playing on an underdog team, the Loyolans, talk about the spirit at the time that was going on in those tournaments with Dunright, Guineas and Loyolans. that kind of competition.
Yes,
Talk about some of the things that you remember in those days.
For instance, we have like sometimes gameplay way down into the late evenings, and I remember there was a game with I think it was with Dunright, I believe. And I was at bat, and I had bases on.
Yes.
And I hit that ball. And normally how I hit my ball is on third base.
Right.
You know, that's where my strength is.
Right.
And I hit the ball and the ball went right down. That was a confusion that evening. And like he had the umpires and the players and everything that was a chaos. I remember that
you knew where to put the ball. Because when you watch baseball, it's similar like softball, you gotta know where to hit that ball, because those players out there gonna catch your ball, and
right. You have to know where to place the ball.
You have to know where to place the ball.
A person who used to place the ball was Brenda Johnson.
Brenda Johnson.
Yeah. Place the ball.
You know where to place the ball.
Place the ball.
Yes. And here's an interesting thing, Sonia, that players like you all knew how to bunt, when to bunt and when just to hit the ball. I used to see players bunt and score, or bring in the rest of the persons on the base, the players on the base.
But you know, I didn't like bunting at all.
You didn't like bunting?
I didn't like bunting. I see where it was necessary when he put me in that spot, because normally I was a cleanup batter.
The cleanup player, yes.
Especially when we went to Bermuda.
Right.
Same there, I think we had choreograph. Pat Bennett was on first, choreograph on second, and then he signed the bunt, so I bunt on third. And that is 3 speed right there. And from I bunt down to third, I end up at third. That means the other 2 had scored.
Very much.
So there was a speed right there.
Very much. You all play the game and with a kind of understanding, science.
Yeah, you have to.
Apparently, when I talk with the legendary players like you all, I don't want to make no comparison with the players of today, but apparently I want to learn the science of that game, why we were so good, and why we win so well. When I'm hearing you and talking with you off the record, you are a player that you play the game smart.
Yes. You have to move with the pitch.
Whichever game, the football, basketball,
you have to move.
You move with the ball, and you have to know the science of where to place the ball.
Exactly, right.
So now did that come really from the coaching too, of the Khaled Gills and the Khaled Coffins and the Raymond Lashley's? Did you all learn how to play the game smartly too, because you were coached in a smart way? Would you say that those coaches?
I'd say both of them. You learn something from each of them.
Some of it just come naturally from yourself.
It's natural.
That is very interesting, man, because we are going back to these golden times, and a lot of the young people today, Sonia, that is playing the game, they don't really understand how great they were, meaning great they were in having those giants like you all that played the game before them, and that they could play the game as intelligently and as smartly as you all were, as long as they are conditioned and as long as they are coaching and they are playing properly. Talk about what made you all play at the level that you were playing at in the 1960s, early 70s. Because Sonia, today, I don't want to always knock the present day players, but we are not winning again like we used to win in softball in the Central American era. We are not winning like that anymore. What is it that you think made you all stood out as athletes in softball at that time in comparison to now? What is it that
I think a part of it is the discipline and the dedication. As a whole overall.
Very much, yes.
If you don't love the game, you won't.
Talk about the daily Sonia Buller's schedule from a student to someone working and playing softball. Talk about how your day used to go.
Normally, for instance, like let's say the side is selected, national side. In the morning, we have to get to the park for 5 o'clock to do our batting practice and so forth. And then I go home, change, ride my bike, go back to government printing press where
we used to work at the government printing press.
And then we get up at 4 and then go home and change and back to the field again. Then for instance, if you have
Is there a morning session early too that you play?
5 o'clock.
Wow.
No, we don't play in the morning.
You don't play in the morning.
Work out in the morning, 5 o'clock we work out in the morning.
Work out in the morning,
Yeah,
5 o'clock.
practice,
Did you hear that?
But in practice in the
I don't think that is going on now.
Yeah.
5 o'clock in the morning, getting up for
5
workout.
o'clock, yes. And then
Getting up to go to school and work, and then come home 4 o'clock.
And then go back to
And go back there again to
That's-
practice. Please, do you see that kind of schedule?
Right. Yeah.
Continue what you
And then if we're not doing anything in the evening, we go to MCC grounds at night, we do fly balls.
Wow.
Yeah.
Going to
And
MCC ground
night.
at night time to do fly ball.
Because
It's a
when you
whole
play on the lights, you have to
package.
get used to the light, you know. Yeah. So we do everything to, as I say, discipline.
And that was a championship working out
Yeah,
that was implemented. Who was putting these kind of schedules together? Well, the coaches, right?
The coaches, yeah.
The Colin Gills and the Raymond Lashleys and the
Yeah.
Los Solis and so on, right?
Right.
Yeah. Did you ever have a chance to play under the legendary Colin Coffin?
Yes, I did.
You did. Talk about him. What
He
you
was the one I
remember?
started with, you know.
Wow.
First game I
Yeah.
started.
Talk about him. So, what you know about him, Sonia?
Khaled was a very serious manager, very serious, you know. I remember we went to Miami with Orlando Rebels in that game, and the woman was pitching the ball so fast. By the time the ball pitched, it's
Fast pitch softball.
so fast.
Yeah.
Khaled could say, he take his foot and stamp it up. He said, open your eyes. He said, but especially when I open your eyes, you can't do it anymore. The ball is pitching
The ball is going
fast.
too fast.
Too fast, you know. I think with the last year I managed to hit the pitcher.
Yeah, with Lashley.
Yeah.
Lashley found out how to deal with him.
She
Deal with her.
So
Yeah,
fast.
Lashley found out how to deal with her.
and then another, I think a year, Orlando Rebels was, they were the third rating in the world. And they passed through and stuff. At that time, we had just came up with the gold at MCC grounds. And
You had just come back from winning gold.
yeah.
And that was the 60s, right?
74.
74.
Yeah.
When you had you had just won the
74.
Central American and Caribbean
Yeah.
gold medal in Santa Domingo.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember seeing those ladies throwing that ball and doing that ball. We were scared. They beat us 4-0, but not because we wasn't that
Yeah.
scared, but after that we settled down.
You settled down. Yeah. You know, you all did get a chance to meet the awesome United States Orlando Rebels then.
Yes,
I thought
yes,
it was only the 79 team that had a chance to meet that team. You played against that team.
Yeah.
So you knew how. Because though they talk about the fact, the legendary Derek Martinez talk about who was from the 1979 bronze medal team in the Pan American Games that played the Orlando Rebels, who had one goal.
Okay.
The Orlando Rebels won the goal. She said that the pitcher of the Orlando Rebels, just as what you were saying, said pitch so fast that she was saying, she said that she used to boast, the pitcher used to boast, nobody can hit her ball.
Yes.
He said that day, he said she hit her ball. Derek said, I hit that ball like that. He said she didn't like that, because she was known that she was so fast, she was pitching.
So fast, by the time you swing that ball is back ready to pitch again. And then I remember we had to go to Corozal after we reached home and everything settled down. I had to go to Corozal and to play against Chetumal. Chetumal invited a pitcher from I think Mexico City to come and pitch against us.
Wow.
And I think they beat us 4-2.
Beat you guys 4-2.
And those are men.
Those were men.
Yeah.
You played against men.
Yeah.
You know, Beverly Bonnie Ramdas talk about the fact that they used to, at Roger Stadium, used to let the men pitch the ball after
Exactly.
back that.
In the evening you have maybe 3 people pitching, so you have like 3 lines and your eyes have to be open because the ball is coming.
And I meant to throw the ball out.
Exactly. And then Sundays we play double header, we play against the men.
And play against the men.
Yeah,
so they raised the bar phone, and that's why the level were so very high. When we were playing against men who were very hard players, men's softball is a little bit more faster, a little bit more.
That's why we become so good, because we play against the men. There was a player, remember one Sunday who was playing, this guy named Harris. He was a home run hitter and I was in center field. Goblet had shots, no gun catching, and so forth and thing.
Yes.
And hit the ball over my head, and I went and I got the ball and I fired a ball to June Goblet. She fired to the gun and he got out. He was upset. He didn't realize that he was so fast.
He was so fast.
Maybe he wasn't running that hard, but he was upset.
He was upset that these girls.
To show how he was so sharp and on top of the ball, he was just serious about the game.
They were pretty sharp and well conditioned,
exactly.
well practiced.
Yeah.
You know, talk about the awesome legendary Noreen Bowden, man.
Oh yeah, she was an awesome player with her bunting down that first base ball. She was awesome.
Yes,
awesome.
yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I would love to maybe work my way up to her soon one day.
Where is she?
I think Chicago, New York, some one of those places, or maybe right here in California itself.
She was awesome.
But very well spoken about. Up to today, the name Noreen Bowden is mentioned. Just like your name and the other names, they're mentioning Noreen Bowden. You know, this awesome Belizean softball player. You and I were talking about the whole thing off the record. We were chatting prior to our interview. And we were talking about how many players see the game in terms of who was the best this, who was the best that, right? And you know, Sonia, when I interview most of these softballers, you would ask them, who was your most favorite, or not favorite, but who was best for you in coaching? You know, Brenda Johnson cited Khaled Gill. She said, I don't care what nobody say, Khaled Gill for her. And I spoke with you and you mentioned to me your favorite coach, not favorite coach, but the coach that brought out the best in you. I want to put it like that because we don't have favorites in our sport.
No.
Which coach it is that brought the best out of you as a player? Talk about that coach.
Well, for me, it's Raymond Lashley.
Raymond Lashley.
Because he takes
Legendary
chances,
Raymond
and
Lashley.
I love to take chances.
Yes.
That's my best game when I play chance.
Yes.
When he's at that base, you coach him, you take chances. For instance, you get on the bases, I'm at third, and Lashley is there, and you take a lead, and whenever the ball is being thrown from the catcher to the pitcher, that's where I'm in, sliding in, I'm safe.
Yes.
He gave you that.
He gave you that opportunity to do that. He didn't say, I don't like for you to steal base because you're gonna get out.
No.
He loved that chances. He loved the base stealer.
Yes. He loved chances.
He loved the base stealer.
And a person who I admire to stealing is sliding base is Pat Bennett.
Pat Bennett.
Oh yeah.
She was a good base stealer.
I certainly had Pat Bennett and the girl Pearl Goff.
Yes. Big shout out to the legendary Pat Bennett in Belize. Yes. And who else you said again? Pearl Goff. Legendary Pearl Goff. Maybe hopefully one day we work ourselves up to Chicago and interview that awesome player with Cynthia Jenkins and Genevieve and all of them. That is very interesting to hear your take on your coach, the coach that brought out the best of you. And the beautiful thing about it, Sonia, is that when you speak with all of them, each of them would say which coach it is for them that brought out the best game out of them. And when you said that about Lashley in my interview with Raymond Lashley, the legendary Raymond Lashley, he said to me that he was an unorthodox player, unlike Khaled Gill. He said Khaled Gill won't go by the book.
He
said, well, he won't come outside of the box and he will take chances. He said that was his style.
That's why I love my game. I love to take chances.
Yes,
I play and I don't get hurt. I don't feel like I didn't play that day.
Interesting. You were a hard player. You played the ball hard, meaning you didn't play.
Take chances.
You wanted to win and you played to win. Awesome. I think for a lot of you, when I interview you, all of you that have played the game, you hear that out of you from the Brenda Johnson, who's like I call the gentle giant.
Exactly.
Very smooth, gentle person, just like yourself, personality, but. She says when she get on that field, she explodes.
Yes.
You know, and people say, "Oh, you're so smart." You could say, but when they see her play, they say, "Oh, wow."
She can place that ball.
Right?
She can place that ball.
And she talked about how the awesome and legendary Consuelo Dugal would say, "I don't care when and what, but my catcher have to obey me at the same room." He said when they would be traveling to Jamaica and said, "The road would quarrel." He said, "But her Consuelo will always make it known.
Yeah.
I don't care. My catcher have to stay with me in the same room because she said they would communicate and talk about their strategy in the game, right? Because that's the person that catch the ball, and she said she knew exactly where Consuelo was going to throw that ball.
Exactly.
And he said that's why Consuelo loved for her to catch, because she knew exactly where she
knew strike where you wanted.
Exactly. That was so beautiful. So that in the game, you know, to see that connection between you see sometimes you go to MCC ground in those great games and you see you all on that field and you see by signal, them talk, but you hear talking and chattering, but you know, just those signs and you know, everybody tense up on those bleachers because they play Bermuda and they play Jamaica and they play Bahamas. And these were awesome, hard teams to beat. You know, it's a pleasure. Again, I want to say it's an honor for us here at Belizean Legends, Sonia Buller-Davis, because a lot of our great players like Isolde had passed away.
I get to see her one year when
you get to see her before, right?
Very,
yes.
Good.
And they have gone, and it's very unfortunate for me doing this documentary film when we were queens and these legendary softballers like yourself, that I never had a chance to sit down like I am with you now and talk to Isolde. So I say, Sonia Buller-Davis, that your interview today is an honor to have had you come in and been alive today to tell the story, and is also a tribute to that awesome legendary player Isolde Heat.
Yes, of course.
It's also this interview today with Sonia Buller-Davis is also a tribute to the late Isolde Heat, one of the greatest pitchers Belize have ever had.